I'm a global worker in Jogja, Indonesia with my husband and 2-year-old son. We are currently in Indonesia as we stayed on the field during this COVID-19 outbreak. I've been thinking a lot lately about the Go Book and the Great Commission. The Great Commission wasn't contingent on peaceful times, on healthy times, on non-chaotic times. The Great Commission was simply just to go, no matter what was going on. Well, in the middle of this pandemic, I have to ask myself, can I still trust God's promises? I think back to when I wrote the devotional for the Go Book. We were in a season of great personal loss, and I had let fear and doubt creep into my soul. Well, right now, all of us on some level are in a season of loss. It may be your job, just your security, even just friendships. And fear and doubt are definitely finding their ways into our minds and our thoughts. Can we still trust God's promises? The answer is yes, emphatically yes. My reassurance in this time is that God is sovereign. COVID-19 was not a surprise to him. He knew this would hit our earth. He knew 2 or 3 years ago when we were preparing to come that this pandemic would hit while we were here. So I have to think, God, what are your purposes in this? What promises can be fulfilled through this? There are many, many questions we have in this season, many fears and concerns. What if our support doesn't come in? What if we totally get locked down? What if one of us gets sick and we need hospital attention? Well, I stand on how Jesus finished the Great Commission. He said, "Lo, I am with you always, even to the end of the age." God is always with us. His promises are always with us. So what does that mean for you? Probably back in America watching from home. Maybe you've lost your job. Maybe you're just isolated from your friends and family. You just miss going to church. Maybe someone you know is sick with this virus. Take those fears, take those questions, and hand them to God. Just like the Go Book, go into the empty tomb and see that he is still good. See that his promises are still valid. I've had friends who've had to cancel weddings, friends who've had to postpone fertility treatments. I have friends who are sick with COVID, but God is still in there with us. His presence is still here. So what do? Well, in this time, use the tools you have. Maybe send a letter to someone who's struggling and they need a prayer of encouragement from you to know that God is still there. Let's use our social media for good. Let's start sharing our church's church services and worship times and Bible studies. Maybe someone who doesn't usually watch will log on and hear the gospel. And perhaps most importantly, go in with Jesus. Spend time in his presence. Read his word. Tell him your deepest fears right now and become closer to him. Man, what would happen if all of us, those on the field and those who sent us, took this time and prepared? See, we can't really go anywhere right now besides into his presence. So let's do that together and prepare for the great things God has in store for us. Thank you all. I'm praying for you and I wish you the best of luck.